Hello everyone and welcome to Kim's Kozy Korner. We are going to set up another indoor green stalk, but this green stalk is super special because we have the new ultimate mover. Let's talk about it. Hi everyone. My name is Kim and I love my green stalks. If you've ever been to my channel, you know I love green stalks. I have a ton of green stalks out in my garden outdoors, and I use my green stalks indoors in my indoor grow space as well. I've always used them in my grow tent downstairs because I was always afraid of flooding water onto the floor. So I have all these contraptions and everything to get it up off the floor and ways to catch the water. But y'all, GreenStalk has a new ultimate mover, an ultimate mover that catches the water for us, y'all. It's right here. I believe they designed it just for me. That's how I feel. I feel like it was designed for me because I love my indoor green stalks. But anyway, it has a tray right here, y'all. You see this tray? It holds 1.75 liters of water. So when you're watering your green stalk, this tray, well, of course, you're indoors, so you got to be careful with water, okay? So let's start there. But this tray will capture just under 2 liters of water. If you water too much, you can pull it all the way out, pour it out, and then put the tray back in. It has a thing on here where it measures the water level so you know if it's full or not. And this mover will hold anything up to 16 inches wide. So anything less than 16 inches, it'll hold it. I think it holds up to 250 pounds. I think I read that somewhere. Let me double check that. I don't want to give wrong information. 300 pounds. It will hold up to 300 pounds, which is perfect for a 3-tier green stalk. For the first time ever, y'all, for the first time ever, I am going to put a green stalk upstairs in my dining room. Now, I am on hardwood floors, y'all. That's just how much I trust GreenStalk's products. I just really trust them. That I'm going to actually move this one or install this one in my dining room, and we are going to fill it up together right now. The one thing that I really liked about it, and I'm gonna have some pictures up here kind of showing you that this base, this ultimate mover, the base itself comes fully assembled. You don't have to add anything to it. The wheels, everything is already on there. And it has these little slots for you to sit your green stalks in. It's kind of marked where the little legs of your green stalk's supposed to go, which made it super, super easy for me as I was getting this green stalk ready. Now it's going to come in 4 colors. It's going to come in stone, blueberry, evergreen, and beautiful black. That's the colors that this ultimate spinner is going to come in. I have evergreen outside, but I don't have any inside, but I thought this color would go well. So this is the one that we're going to use indoors. I'm not going to put a lid on it because we're indoors. There should be no trash falling into this, so I'm not worried about putting a lid on. We're just going to have our reservoir and the 3 tiers. Now, they do recommend putting houseplants, leafy greens, anything like that that doesn't take a lot of water, so you don't have to worry about overwatering it and spilling water onto the floor, as well as indirect sunlight. So in my dining room, I have a west-facing window that this will sit in front of. And look, y'all, it spins so easy. It's rolling on my hardwood floor. It just goes wherever it needs to go. So I can move it here, move it there, whatever I need to do. But all of the sunlight is going to be indirect. So it's perfect for like in your kitchens if you're going to put herbs or something like that. Patios, balconies, all of that kind of stuff. Anywhere where you have to be really careful with watering, those will be the best places for this one. And yeah, I'm putting it in my dining room. My dining room, in my mind, is my most special room in the house. And I really want to protect the hardwood floor that we just had redone in my 75-year-old house. So I don't want to mess my floor up, but I trust GreenStalk, and we're going to put it here. What we're going to put in the GreenStalk is what we need to talk about next. So if you came with me a few videos ago, I started a whole bunch of seeds from my GreenStalk Seed Bundle. Yes, there is a Kim's Kozy Korner Seed Bundle, and we started a bunch of seeds together from that bundle in the new blueberry seed starting kit. And y'all, these are ready to go in the ground. These are ready to go to ground. Now, some of these I can put in here. Lettuce I can put in here. We're going to try the collards. We're going to try some tomatoes. I'm going to put some basil in here, right? So some of the things I'm putting in here might not work, but it at least fills it up for now. And then we can put some green flowers in here, different type things like that. But we can ready to fill it up right now with some vegetables. Not everything though. So any kind of vegetable that you're going to put in here, like leafy greens that we were just talking about, it can't be anything that needs a pollinator. Let me start there. Can't be that. And so I'm hoping I can put some lettuce and some collard greens, basil. I have some tomatoes. My tomatoes don't need a pollinator, but they can kind of hang over the side. I think that'll be very pretty. So we'll put some tomatoes in there. Everything I'm putting in is from my seed starting bundle, or my seed bundle, I should say. Here's a picture of my seed bundle. And again, the link to the video where I started all these seeds will be in the description below. But we are going to go ahead and get started. I am using Happy Frog in this GreenStalk. It's already in. I put it in last week, I think it was. Just didn't get to the video. But we got Happy Frog in every pocket. That's my preferred potting soil. You do not want raised bed soil. You don't want garden soil. You definitely don't want topsoil. You want a good quality potting mix. You can make your own or you can purchase. I prefer Happy Frog. We're going to use that. We're going to use a general fertilizer. Just brought me a little container upstairs. And we are going to use Mycos in every pocket. Mycos is a mycorrhizal. It's going to help inoculate the roots, so the roots in the soil become one, is what I like to say. And I always like to use this with my transplants. What else do I need? I think that's it. I already know when I put this together, I'm going to put a little soil on the floor. Hopefully I can get it up before the rest of the family realizes what I've done. But I'm going to be strategic on where I put certain things. So if there's something that needs a lot more sunlight, now this is just a little bit higher than my windowsill, I'm going to put it in this top tier. For the things that I think it'll be just fine down low, we'll put them down low. So let's start from the bottom and let's work our way up. In the very bottom, let's put the collards. Yeah, we're going to put collards in the very bottom. Collards get kind of big. That's if I can give them enough light in here. Now behind me, I do have some other things growing that has some LED lights behind me. So they'll get a little light from that, but I'm going to set this right in front of that window. These are Georgia Southern collard greens. Well, the first thing I'm going to do, I changed my mind. The first thing I'm going to do is add fertilizer to every pocket. We'll do that first. We'll mix it in as we go though. I hope I brought enough upstairs. The general all-purpose fertilizer I use are single-digit numbers. My preferred brand is Dr. Earth. But, you know, I will use whatever's on sale at the store, just to be honest with you. That's my preferred brand. And so I'm putting, I don't know, a fourth a cup or something like that in every pocket. Now we're starting at the bottom so I can sit down and do this. That's the only reason. So the fertilizer's in, and we're going to have to mix that up in every pocket. And I am going to just lightly mix this in every pocket. I have lots and lots of videos out there where I've put my GreenStalks together. I call it GreenStalk number 15, GreenStalk number 9. This is GreenStalk, I've lost count, 15, 16. Is this 17 or 18, y'all? I've lost count. I got a lot of green stalks. This is the original green stalk with 10-inch deep pockets. If I was outside, I could plant anything in them. Anything at all. Peppers, tomatoes, eggplant, corn, okra, tomatoes, right? Anything and everything can be planted in this. Squash. Yes, I said squash. I do plant squash in my green stalks. Summer squash is what I've planted in here. I've planted melons in here. I plant a little bit of everything, like I said. Cucumbers. I love growing cucumbers in here. And so guess what, y'all? We're going to grow some cucumbers in here today. I don't know if that's going to be best for this space, but we're going to try to do it anyway. And if I have to put a grow light on it, y'all, that's okay, because I got some of those too. All right, all of those pockets are mixed in, and I only spilled a little bit of dirt so far, so I think I'm doing okay. So now we're going to start at the very bottom with collard greens. So how about I just go ahead and pull my plants out and lay them in the pockets I think I want them in, because I also like garden art. So as I'm deciding where to put it, I might want to move it this way or move it that way. So let's do that first. That way I don't have to change my mind later. So this is part of the seed starting kit. If you look here, there are slits on the sides of all of these. That does air wicking, so you don't have to worry about the roots becoming root bound. So that's a good thing. And it's got a hole in the very bottom. Let me see if I can get to a side and show you. In the very bottom, so you can just push it up with your finger and pull, hopefully, hopefully. Yeah, it worked. And pull the whole one out. By putting your finger in the bottom, it pushes it up. So I'm going to put that basil in that one. Oh, that basil smells good, y'all. Woo! This is just Italian Genovese, I believe is what it is. Ooh, that smells good. Now, y'all, this is summer squash. Even though these plants look amazing, I cannot put this indoors. It needs a pollinator. But I just wanted to show you how pretty it was from a seed bundle. We're going to have to find somewhere outside for it when it warms up. It's too cold right now. Let's work on this one next. So this is Cherry Falls. All of the pockets germinated except for one. I only had one pocket that didn't germinate, but that's okay, y'all. Cherry Falls is a micro dwarf tomato. You can put it in a hanging basket, y'all. I think that would be very pretty in a hanging basket, but we are going to put it in a green stalk because I think that's even prettier. I am also putting in here my muncher cucumbers. Now, I found out that my muncher is self-pollinating. Oh, look at that beautiful, beautiful root structure, y'all. That's pretty. But muncher is self-pollinating. And with it being self-pollinating, I can actually grow it indoors. Indoors, yes. And I already have cucumbers growing indoors downstairs in my indoor grow space. And we're going to also grow it right here in this green stalk. And then, y'all, we're going to have some of these that we can get replanted with other things. I got two open up top. What can I put there? Let's put something small. So we will put my red sales, I think is what it's called, lettuce in here. And these top two. For now, I think that's where we want them to go. That's going to be pretty. That's going to be really pretty. Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. In the very bottom, for sure, all of our collard greens. And let's see if we can get some indoor collard greens. Y'all, I also had some other seeds that I could have used, but at this point, I think we're just going to start with my seed bundle. And as we harvest and it's time to change things out, then we'll put some other things in here. So I got collards down there. I got 2 lettuce spots, and I have 3 spots left. The question is, do I put more collards or do I put the lettuce? I think I'm going to put the lettuce here. But I need lettuce downstairs. This is all I have available. I got 2. We're going to put the collards in, y'all. We'll put collards in between. 3 more pockets of collards. We got a plan. We got a plan. And I only got 2 extra here, so we're going to find a home for these 2 extra. I had one that bit the dust. Right there, it bit the dust. I don't know why. It just said it didn't want to play nice. Oops. Y'all, I made a mess. I did make a mess. I dropped it. It'll be all right. We'll clean it up. But after I clean up that mess, y'all, we don't have to worry about it. We won't have to worry about any other issues once we clean that one up. So now we're just going to get these in with our micos. Now, I could have put a rug down. I could have done this so many other ways. I did not have to make a mess, but I did. I'm going to dig a hole. And my goal is I have 2 to 3 collard plants in each one of these cells. And I'm going to separate them out just a little bit so I can spread them out in that pocket. I pick my collard greens when they are very young, very young. So I can put 2, sometimes 3 collard greens per pocket. I don't let them get huge and massive. I pick them when they're like 6 inches tall, and that's it. And so that's what we're going to do today. So I'm separating these out. Y'all, this is the one I dropped, I think. But you see, I've separated it out, 2 different groups. I'm going to bury it. And I put it on top of the micos, by the way, y'all. It's on the micos. And I'm going to try to plant it back to the depth it already was. That's my goal. There it is. This next one, let me see if I can do a better job of showing you. And this soil is very dry, y'all. It's very, very dry. So when I first start watering it in, I'm going to have to be super, super careful. But I got the micos in there. I was not trying to bury it, so let's put a little bit more. I was just trying to make a little trench for my plant. You put your plants directly on the micos. I'm going to pull over this so I'm not getting the floor messy. I broke it in half into 2 pieces. I'm going to put one on that corner, and I'm going to put one on this corner. And I'm going to do this all the way around for the rest of this GreenStalk. And so let me work on that, and I will bring you back when I get it all in. Y'all, I've been waiting a long time for GreenStalk to bring this product for me. A long time. And again, y'all, I don't think they did it for me, but I am reaping the rewards. I'll put it that way. Your soil level should be all the way to the top. Oh, I'm getting it dirty. Should be all the way up to the top. Some of my soil is a little low, so we will need to add soil back to some of these pockets. But we'll worry about that part a little later. I also like to lean my plants to the outside just a little bit. If for some reason I ever have to take the GreenStalk apart, it makes it really easy to protect the plants when you put it back together. All right, the bottom layer is done, and I am going to move to the second and the top layers. I will bring you back when I get it completely in. All of your plants, we're going to put them back to the depth they already were, except for the tomatoes. So let me show you one tomato really quickly here. Since these are micro dwarf tomatoes, I am going to keep 2 tomatoes. I'm going to put 2 tomatoes in each pocket. So I still need my micos. So I got my micos in the pocket already. Here are my 2 tomato plants. And y'all, I'm going to bury it all the way up to the leaves. I usually try to bury 2/3 of the plant if I can. Sometimes it's not as easy as you believe it is. But my goal is to bury it as deep as possible. This one needs a little more soil in it as well. But if you notice, I barely got it to the top of this pocket. And then it's going to take off, and then it's going to hang over the sides. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. So anyway, let me finish getting the rest of this in here, and I'll bring you back, and I will show you the final GreenStalk on the new Ultimate Mover. So I have it all put together. I have Georgia collards in the bottom. In the second tier, I have collards and basil. And in the very top, y'all, I have cherry falls tomatoes. I have muncher cucumbers. Okay, y'all, I know that one's gonna be, we're gonna see what happened with those munchers. And then I have some red cells, is that what it's called? Yes, red cells lettuce. It's fully filled out with the Kim's Kozy Korner seeds and transplants, I should say. So now it's time for us to water. When you are watering your GreenStalk indoors, regardless of what kind of mover you have on the bottom, let's start there. Regardless of the mover, y'all, you have to water in very slowly. You have to. If you were outside, you just put the sprinkler in the top and you just let it run until it runs out the bottom. You can't do that indoors. You have to monitor your water very carefully when you're indoors. So what I like to do is water from the top. Well, this is so dry, y'all. I'm going to water from the top. I'm never going to let it go down the center. I'll bring you in close so you can see. And I'm going to let it water the top tier. And then I'm going to let it drip from the top tier to the second tier and all the way down to the third tier. That's my plan. Being that the soil is so dry, I am going to water each of the top 2 tiers pockets as well, just so we can start absorbing this water because the soil is so dry. But on a daily basis or once a week or however often we need to water, I'm going to fill it up, not letting it run down the center hole. That means that all the water in this reservoir is going straight to this top tier. And when the top tier is fully saturated, it'll go down to the next tier, and we'll keep that process going until I see water dripping from this tier into the bottom tier. And then I'm going to stop because gravity is going to take care of the rest. So let me show you what I mean when I say water from the top, but not through the center hole. All right, so I got my little jug here, and usually with a 3-tier, if I've put in, once it's fully saturated, if I've put in 2 gallon, y'all, I know it's coming out the bottom. I know it is. So we're not going to put in more than 2 gallon. This is about half full though, just to be honest with you. So I'm putting it in the center and I'm not letting it get to the top of this hole. I'm not. Once the water gets to the top of that hole, just before it goes down, I stop. So the water is now saturating this top tier, and I'm going to help it. I'm going to put a little water in all the pockets because it's going to go from this pocket down to the pockets just below it. So I'm going to do that for the top 2 tiers, but not the bottom tier, because when it comes out the bottom of the bottom tier, y'all, it's going right into your little tray. All right, let me grab some more water. I'll be right back. So the water is still slowly going out this top, and I can add a little bit more because it's almost out. I'm going to add it and fill it almost just before the hole, which I just did again, and it's going to continue doing it. So I'm going to do the same thing to the second layer. I hope this water isn't just wicking away because it sure looks like it. If your water is wicking away, it just rolls off. It never absorbs. And I hope that's not what's happening here, because then it's going to run out the bottom and I'm going to think everything's fully watered in, and it's not going to be. While we're waiting on this water to work its way through the planter, I want to talk about a couple more things. If you're not sure when to water your planter, you can use what I call the finger test, where you put your finger in. If the soil is moist, everywhere where you put your finger into the pocket, which is going to be the top, 2 or 3 inches. If it's moist, don't water. Don't water. If you put your hand in there and it's completely dry, then it's time to water your plants. So you really want to think about what you want to grow inside. If you're not really good with the watering, leafy greens are super easy to grow. Those are always easy. Lettuce, your herbs, that kind of stuff. Nothing that's super water hungry, if you know what I mean. Tomatoes, that is one of those things. So I only have 2 pockets of cherry tomatoes in here. There's no way I would grow a slicing tomato in here. One, I don't have enough sunlight into this space, but it just takes a lot of water. But I believe we have a good plan here. Let me see, is it dripping to the second layer yet? Not yet. So let's add a little bit more to the top. Now, once I get this watered in the first time, y'all, it's not going to be this tedious. It's just because I let the soil sit here for a week and dry out without putting the plants in and getting it set up and ready to go. But y'all, I am excited. I am so excited. Now, this is the first round, y'all. Once I start pulling some of these things out, I believe it's going to be more of an herb and lettuce planter as we get further into the season and that kind of stuff. One of the things that I hate to do is run outside when it's 110 in the shade and try to pick fresh herbs. So if I can have herbs indoors while I'm cooking, I will grab that fresh herb any day over what I've dehydrated or dried or freeze dried or whatever. But I haven't been able to do that. And so herbs and lettuce, I think, are going to be my primary two things growing in here. In the summer, it's too hot to grow lettuce outdoors, right? That's why it's usually a spring and a fall type plant in my area anyway. But I can grow lettuce year round indoors, and I can save that space for something else outdoors. And my indoor lettuce, y'all, it tastes good. It tastes real good. All you got to do is ask my little farm dog Buttons. Buttons loves my lettuce. All right, I see some dripping coming into the second layer. So that means that all the water that I have coming through this first tier is working its way down into the second tier now, which is great. I don't have any working into the third tier just yet. When that water starts getting into the third tier and coming out the bottom of the third tier, okay, I see dripping to the third tier now. When the water starts coming out the third tier, we're going to see this right here. Here's the little watering tray. This little watering tray right here will start filling up, and then this will go up. When it's all the way to the top, I know it's full, y'all, and I need to take it out, pour it back in the top even, depending on how clean the water is, and replace it. But right now, the tray is empty. So I've added about 1.5 gallons to get this set up and ready to go. This is my brand new 3-tier GreenStalk in my dining room close to the kitchen on the new Ultimate Mover. And that's what it's called, the Ultimate Mover. And it's made for indoor gardeners who need to protect that floor, whether it's hardwood, patio, laminate, whatever it is, and you need to protect that floor. This is perfect. It moves around super easy. I'm just barely touching it with one hand and it's moving nicely. Now, the only thing I got left to do, y'all, I got to clean up all this dirt that I put my hands in and get it nice and shiny like the rest of the dining room. It can hold green stalks. It can also hold potted plants. It doesn't have to be a green stalk. The mover is to help us protect our floors with a stylish GreenStalk Ultimate Mover to go along with my GreenStalk Original Planter. This is available on the GreenStalk's website. Links are below to everything. If it's something you're interested in, go to the website. It'll all be there for you, including the Kim's Kozy Korner Seed Bundle. If you have any questions, please hit me up in the comments. But if it's an urgent question and you really need an answer, you're going to need to send me an email. So until next time, and I hope there'll be a next time that you hang out with me at Kim's Kozy Korner. Bye.